When do we start a countdown?
All right. So now we've just got less than a minute. Just a heads up for everybody out there. Uh, okay, I need to potentially move my phone if it's going to do that.
That's what we're calling the show today?
Yes.
To call you stupid would be an insult to
All right, we've got 25 seconds. We got 25 seconds. Everybody, just stay calm. Stay calm. Oh my gosh, why is this not?
I think you're the only one who's not calm.
Shh, we got 5 seconds. Shut up.
What's up, Curtis?
Shut up. Welcome to the Breakdown, everybody. This is Aaron Barker broadcasting from an undisclosed location deep behind enemy lines, asking the questions that get you kicked out of Bible study and sent to therapy. Thank you all so very much for the opportunity to be in your vehicle, office, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, henhouse, outhouse, or doghouse, wherever it is you may be listening to the broadcast today, which we are streaming right now on Mojo. We are also on Opslins, and we are on Crusade Channel Live Radio, the way it should be. All of those are wonderful places to join us in the program today. Also, you have the ability to be on the show if thou dost desire, and that is by going to breakdradio.com, click on the mic in the bottom right-hand corner, and it is there where you'll be able to leave your sound off. That's what we call it, your sound off, and then we will play that for you live on the air. So all your friends, you can call your mom. Mama, I'm going to be on the radio. And you can call her, we'll play you. That's what you do. Big show today, a lot of stuff to get into. We have pro-life activists that are just absolute terrorists. You will not believe this. Demon pastors. Are demons teaching pastors how to speak in tongues and plus-size travelers? All of that. I don't know how we're going to fit the plus size in here. We'll find a place to fit them in there, even if we have to buy 2 show segments for it. All of that and more right here on the show today. And welcome, as always, the lovely misinformation herself, Erica Sauer.
Good morning.
And we also have Brian, the bearded pastor. Good morning, Brian, the bearded pastor.
Good morning, sir. How are you this morning?
Living the dream as always. So big things happening this week for anybody. Am I the only one? Any massively huge things going on in y'all's lives?
It's just busy. It's just a busy time for me this year.
I am just glad we're going to get some warm weather finally. Holy
What?
cow.
Stop talking. Well, you're not allowed to talk about that.
Oh, wow. You're not allowed. Erica just curtailed your freedom of speech. She said, shut
Well,
up.
it seems to be a lot of people curtailing my freedoms this morning, but that's okay. We'll talk about that another time.
I mean, let's just talk about common courtesy. If my weather's not going to be warm, you don't need to be talking about down south it's going to be warm. Duh.
Down south? Okay, whatever.
Are you? You're in Kentucky, right?
Most days.
Right.
Most days I'm in Kentucky. It just depends.
Quite sure you're never not in Kentucky, are you, buddy? Anyway, that is.
I was in Tennessee yesterday, and the day before that I was in Illinois. So
Nice. Well, let's do this because this is now starting to bore me. Let's get into the chum bucket. We are going to dig deep into the chum bucket and talk about the internet's most fascinating accounts of this life in which we are living. And we go to Australia, the land down under, the small island off the coast of New Zealand. That's right. A little girl is outside going to get a guinea pig, and she finds a guinea pig is in some peril. So she steps in to take care of said guinea pig. And honestly, I watched this last night. You're going to love this. So there's no sound to this video at all. But this girl goes out to get her guinea pig and finds that there is a snake out there. And here is the video of what happens. So the girl goes and to get the guinea pig from outside, and she reaches behind a bush, and she sees the guinea coming around the corner of the bush. she notices, oh my gosh, a snake has bit my guinea pig. So what I'm going to do is pick the snake up and swing it around. And this poor little guinea pig is holding on for his dear life. And the snake has bit into this thing and she is whipping it around like a lasso.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Oh,
I mean, at least she did something.
yeah,
Poor
like
guinea
she didn't
pig.
leave the guinea pig all by its lonesome. She stepped up and was like, I'm going to save my guinea pig because I love my guinea pig. But it was so funny. Her reaction was that she just starts flipping this thing around. Can you imagine what's going through that guinea pig's mind? Like this is the last day on Earth, and the guinea pig goes out with this wild ride.
Well, and the fact that she keeps
Oh,
swinging the
but
guinea pig
maybe
into
it
that like
lived.
water bucket. I mean, you see that she like
Stop it. Maybe it lived. Maybe the guinea pig is okay. It ran under the bush. It might be all right.
It did live. She saved the guinea pig's life. So that is awesome that she saved the guinea pig's life. But it was so funny, like you said,
and
right?
the guy goes over to check on the snake of all things.
Right?
What was so funny is that like the guinea pig ended up hitting its own container that she had there for it.
Oh, nice.
It was like, oh, you missed the container. Oh, there's the container. Keep smacking it.
Love it.
But anyway, that's one of those stories that you see and you're like, man alive, what is going through that guinea pig's head at the time that girl's feeling about? But hey, thanks, like you said, Erica, thanks to the girl because she did step up, she did something, she saved the guinea pig's life, and so she's a lifesaver. That's what she is, a lifesaver. All right, now you're also Erica. You have a history in speech pathology, right? You're a speech therapist.
Correct.
Okay. Have you heard about the new language that's being discovered in the United States? No, I'm not talking about the Gen Z talk. They've discovered that down in Miami, there is a new dialect that's actually been emerging since the 50s because of all the folks that have come over from Cuba. They're doing there's a cultural intermingling between Spanish and English. It's not Spanglish, like some people say. It is. They say it's a distinct dialect. It's a Spanish influenced dialect of English, born out of decades of immigration to southern Florida from Spanish-speaking countries. Consider on the most of the bilingual cities in the U.S. Miami are considered one of the most bilingual cities in the U.S. Miami consists of a majority of Hispanic and Latino population. And in most recent decades, the Spanish languages have mixed with American English, resulting in a new dialect. Linguists in Florida, in Miami, said the linguistic development is a perfect example of how human languages are constantly shape-shifting. All words, dialects, blah, blah, blah. In Miami, there are many ways of speaking English. The variety we have been studying is in the people born in South Florida and Latinx majority communities. Evidently, what they do is they have the direct translations of certain words that are like translated from Spanish into English. So, for example, I'm going to butcher this because I don't speak Spanish. Bajar del carro means get down from the car, not get out of the car, as you would expect to see in most American English dialects. But anyway, have you heard of any of this?
So yeah, I've heard of it before. I mean, it's been going on for a while. They compare it to like Creole French.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
like a
great.
mixture, but it's just a different dialect, and it's a real thing. I mean, it doesn't really cause pathological injuries to your speech, but it's definitely it's a different accent. It has words that translate roughly, right? The way that they use them with it's not really slang. Like that's how they talk.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
an
yeah,
app.
it's not
It's an
slang,
actual translation. It's not an English translation of a Spanish word.
exactly.
It's an actual
Like a
mixture.
transliteration, like a word for word literation. Yeah, absolutely.
Correct.
Well, I thought it was
Correct.
interesting because
It doesn't happen often, and it takes time for that because you have different dialects. People use different words in different parts of the country, right? Like when I was growing up, we said things like, if it was really cool, it was mint. That's so mint,
yeah,
right? Like you would say, they didn't say that everywhere. So there were like different areas use different words, right?
It
That are
reminds me of that
slang.
movie. reminds me of that movie Mean Girls. It's like, quit trying to make fetch happen. It's just not
Right.
gonna happen.
Exactly like that. Like fetch is not a thing here. We don't say it. I mean, it's kind of like saying y'all down south and you guys up north. That's a difference regionally, right? But this is an actual
Hey,
mixture.
even the Apostle Paul used the word y'all.
What? Wow.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow. Don't
So,
use
yeah,
that as
so-
a pick as your line, okay?
The Apostle Paul. Yeah, I have no idea how you would use that as your pickup line.
I'm just saying, don't use that. Don't lead with that.
See, I was thinking you look at something like this, and I know we have the Gen Z language that everybody's throwing a fit about, but honestly, Gen Z is just slang like jive was slang, or you had 80s slang, or you had 90s slang. All of this, like back in the day, something was rad, or it was bad, or it was
That's just
sweet.
popular. That's
Yeah,
just
it's
popular
colloquialisms. This is like
terminology that
an inkling
changes.
of this. So it was.
Like Watson, when Watson left his sound off last weekend, he called us straight up whack, right?
Yeah,
How
for
about tell me you're over 40, Watson? You just use the word whack. What in the heck? Like nobody says that anymore. But that's different than a mixture of language that goes together.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I thought that was interesting because it always, it does kind of show the shape of cultures, how things are consistently and constantly changing, how languages are always changing. I always thought that was fascinating anyway, the different way that languages create, also the dialects where people come from, like down in Eastern Kentucky and the Appalachian Mountains, and like Virginia, where the Irish folks settled and Scottish folks came over and settled, and how the dialect there, and how when you look at the the southeastern Kentucky accent or the southern accent, a lot of those.
I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me mojo or give me death. Mojo 50.
Well, there we go. I figured that's a nice little sleeper that popped in there. Just
Wow.
go on, act like it didn't happen. So now. Let's see here. So I thought that was neat. I always like to think about how the different accents had different sounds throughout their development. And you probably, of course, like I said, Eric, you have
It doesn't have to do with food, but it does have to do with language, right? Like it doesn't have to do with what you eat or where you live, or it's not an environmental thing that affects your speech in that way. It's a total involves how you hear it,
Absolutely. That is so
informs
cool.
how you say it.
So this also here, I thought this was fascinating as well, because since we are talking about the intermingling and creation of new languages because of different dialects and folks that are coming in, and changing languages, etc. Kansas City says that it wants migrants to move there, right? So Kansas City has said, now this is the home of a very liberal city, evidently. It's a Dem-led city. They have 7,000 jobs that are open right now, 7,000 open positions. So Topeka, Kansas has begun a program to lure new residents with cash payouts in 2000. They started this back in 2019. Then the city started targeting migrants last year to add to its workforce. So Kansas City is offering $15,000 to choose Topeka and to lure border crossers to the Democrat-led city to fill 7,000 available jobs, 7,000 open jobs. Now, that's essentially just the headline. That a city in the United States is saying, we have jobs that are open. Why don't we pay illegal immigrants, people who are crossing the border without proper documentation? Come here to our city. We will pay you $15,000. That's like 150 million pesos. That's a lot of pesos, man. I mean, I'm sure they're like, arriba, andale, let's get to Topeka.
Why do they sound
On
like
their way.
Speedy Gonzalez?
Because that's the only Spanish accent I know. That's cultural appropriation. It's what I do.
Oh goodness!
To say the least.
So you're down to
To
okay. So
say
you're in
the
your city.
least.
The two of us are in. Brian and I are in Kentucky. Eric, you're in Indiana. Like anywhere, like they're actually doing this up in Illinois, surrounding areas, not too far from you. They're offering the state government is offering $11 million in a pool for cities to bring in illegal immigrants so that they can fill jobs and become sanctuary cities. Now Topeka's doing this. We have cities up in Illinois that are doing this as well. Are these cities treasonous? I mean, you have workers, American workers, that don't have jobs. We have inflation that is stagnant. We have wages that are stagnant. Inflation that is causing an uproar because people can't hardly buy anything, buy any food, buy any can't make car payments. The cost of everything is going up. Your wages are staying the same. And now these city governments and state governments want to offer hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars to illegal immigrants to fill jobs that you can do as an American citizen. I find this borderline treasonous.
I think it's
I don't think it's borderline. It's treason.
Yeah, there's no borderline about it. It's absolutely illegal.
Look, I don't care what you think about Trump or anybody else, but the one thing I can say about President Trump is that he was one of the first presidents in my lifetime that when he said America first, he actually meant America first. And you know what? Yeah, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, I don't care what anybody says. We need to put our country first. I had the awesome opportunity on Thursday night, I was talking to a couple of our U.S. military guys. They were down at the place we were hanging out, and it was right outside of Fort Campbell. And it was absolutely one of the coolest things. And to listen to these guys talk, and of course he's like, well, as a military guy, I have to remain neutral on politics for the most part. He said, but I'm going to tell you right now, he said, our current administration is doing everything in their ever-loving power to destroy our country from the inside out. And that was from 2 or 3 different military guys all sitting there talking and having this conversation. And it wasn't prompted. It wasn't, hey, are you a Republican, Democrat? It was, oh my gosh, these guys are destroying our country. And then he got into this long diatribe about how we have criminalized patriotism in this country. And we have said that patriotism is an equation to nationalism. And because we can't be nationalists, we're throwing our country under the bus. He said this
People
is
need
the
to-
thing I've seen.
People need to remember and really start to take personal responsibility for things. Like, we are the majority. I don't care what you're hearing. I don't care how loud the other groups are. I don't care how much coverage they're getting. I don't care. We're the majority.
When you say we, who do you mean we?
I mean, people that want to return to the rule of law, people that don't want a corrupt government, people that want freedom of speech, people that don't want to be put in jail by their government for 3 years without a trial, people that don't want their elections stolen, people that just want to live their lives and help their neighbors and be good community members and be left alone. People that want smaller government. We are still the majority.
I think you got to go one step further, Erica, and just say what you mean. Conservative constitutionalists want this.
Maybe
back.
that's, if you want to label it, that's fine. But I mean, it isn't. I'm just think we all need to be done with it, and I'm kind of done with it.
You talking about
done.
labels? Is that what you're
I'm
saying?
done protecting people's feelings. I'm done worrying
it.
about what people are going to think. I'm done going through the process of I'm not saying that you shouldn't think about the consequences of your actions or be personally responsible and accountable for the things that you do and say. But I'm saying it's time to say some stuff that nobody wants to hear. And I don't care anymore that people might not like it.
Yep.
You're listening to The Breakdown right here on Mojo 50, the Crusade Channel, live radio the way it should be, and on OpsLens. Welcome to everybody who may be a new listener over there. We're grateful that you're joining us and would love to hear what you have to say by going to breakdradio.com, clicking on the mic in the bottom right-hand corner. Then we will play your sound off that you leave for us. And it's one way where you can brag. If you're out on a date and you're looking for some points, you just tell the girl or the guy, as long as it's the opposite sex, that, hey, I was on The Breakdown. They played my sound off. They will melt like butter, But
Like
here's
butter.
now that I'm giving advice on the ladies to all the men, let me give you this bit of advice as well. There are 3 things that you should know about 1689 cigars. Number 1, when you purchase from 1689cigars.com, you help provide jobs for folks in Nicaragua who would otherwise have a difficult time providing for their families and be reduced to handouts. Number 2, every time you enjoy products from 1689cigars.com, you support reformed church planters in Nicaragua. And number 3, 1689cigars.com is owned and operated by bivocational pastors here in the U.S. who, with Pastor Spurgeon, intend to smoke a good cigar to the glory of God before they go to bed tonight. 1689cigars.com is honored to partner with Reform Cigars by selling all of the blends and sizes available from their line. Whether your palate prefers a full-bodied Maduro, like moi, a mild Connecticut, or somewhere in between, 1689cigars.com has a blend for you. Now, during the month of February, if you visit 1689cigars.com, you can take advantage of their February Fiver deal. You get great 5 cigars for $55. That's right. You get 5 great cigars for $55 or 2-pack or two packs for $88. While you're there, purchase a beautiful poster-sized print from cigar band artist Clay Hall. He has skillfully replicated the historic stained glass window from Spurgeon Pastors College and stunning mosaic of cigar bands. Don't forget to check out 1689cigar.com's great t-shirts, stickers, glasses, and more. And since they're always adding new products, be sure to check back on the regular. 1689cigars.com. That's 1689cigars.com, 1689cigars.com. Let them know you heard about it right here on the breakdown. And everybody, smoke to the glory of God. All right, now, of course, we're talking about migrants. We're talking about folks coming over here to the country. We're talking about patriotism that is being outlawed, which it is. When you consider all of the January 6th, the debacle that's happening, when you consider all of the horrible things that the January 6th political prisoners are facing, they're being held without bond. They're being held without a due process. They're being held in deplorable conditions, not deplorable like Trump supporters, deplorable as in they are absolutely treated like garbage, like they're subhumans. And what is their crime? Their crime is standing up against an unjust government and standing up and speaking out against them. But it's not just them, see? It's not just the folks who were there on January 6th who decided to speak up and let their voices be heard. No. You don't only stop with those horrible terrorists. You have to worry about the domestic terrorists that we have right here in these beautiful United States of America, across the fruited plain, those horrible, terrible, peaceful pro-life activists. Let's take a look at this. This is 6 pro-life activists were found guilty in federal court after being prosecuted by Biden's DOJ under the FACE Act for protesting outside a Nashville abortion clinic. Here's a snippet of their protest. Now, I will tell you, for those of you who do have weak stomachs, this is going to be very difficult for you to watch. So please, if you do have a weak stomach, please divert your face away because it's just bad. Look at the violence. Look at the terror. Look at the woman in the wheelchair. That's the real danger. Where's the TSA? So what they're doing, just so you folks know that are listening and not watching, they are sitting outside of an abortion mill, a murder mill, in front of the door, just here at the door. They're having their stage to sit in protest, and they are singing hymns to the Lord. And they were prosecuted under the Biden Act because they dared try to stop innocent babies from being murdered. Can you imagine? Look how horrible these people are. Throw the book at them.
I can't imagine being the one having to arrest them. Like, how are you the officer that's like, yeah, let me go handle that?
Oh yeah, the famous "I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my job.
Yep, there you
Just
go.
doing my job." Yeah, if you were doing your job, you'd be
What
protecting the.
is your job? Could you, I mean, define that for me, officer, please. What is your job?
There are people,
What part of protect and serve would you say this is? Because,
yeah.
I mean, who are you? Define. Let's
Who are
let's
you
talk,
protecting and
sir.
serving, officer?
Right.
Who are you protecting and serving?
Yeah. Because I'm
Because it's
thinking.
certainly not the babies,
Right.
certainly not the little babies,
Right.
but they're being prosecuted because of their horrible terroristic activities. And I tell you what, they should have the book thrown at them. They should have the key thrown away, locked under the jail.
Years with no trial.
Years and years. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to continue domestic terrorism right here on The Breakdown. Keep it locked in.
Asking the questions that get you kicked out of Bible studies and sent to therapy.
You're listening to The Breakdown.
Hi, it's Doc Thompson for Matthew 25 Ministries. Matthew 25 Ministries is one of the few charities I'll actually endorse because I know them. I've worked with them, and I know almost all of the money that you donate goes to help people. Go to m25m.org, m25m.org.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. I was busy eating this delicious meal from preparewithmojo50.com. You look hungry. Do you want some? Of course you do. Get your own. You can go to preparewithmojo50.com. That's preparewithmojo50.com. You can't have mine.
Welcome back to The Breakdown, folks. Thanks for staying with us during that break. We are continuing right along here. Do y'all remember Ethan Crumley? He was the gentleman that was the shooter in excuse me, in Michigan at the end of 2021. He was at the Oxford High School. This was the kid who had threatened that he was going to shoot up the school, had multiple times to do like he had like multiple threats on social media. He made multiple threats to people in school, to his fellow students.
Didn't the FBI know about him and nobody did anything? I think they knew about him, right?
Yeah, like not only did they know
always know about him,
but his dad his dad decided that he would buy him a gun. You know, this kid's disturbed. He's, having a lot of issues, and he decides he wants to buy him a gun. Now, right now, his mom is on trial. So Ethan Crumley was sentenced to like 25. He's 17 years old, and he was sentenced to life in prison in December without the possibility for parole for killing 4 students and injuring 6 others and a teacher in November of 2021 in Oxford High School. He got like consecutive life sentences, so he's never going to get out. If they're prosecuting him like an adult, they should treat him like an adult. They should have equal justice for the 4 students he killed and permanently scarring emotionally and physically not only the 6 others and the teacher, but the entire school and everyone in the surrounding areas, the families, etc. He should receive the death penalty. He willingly and maliciously took the lives of people around him. If he's old enough to make the decision that he's going to blow some folks away, we should be old enough to make the decision to gas the kid or
It
fire
was
him.
obviously premeditated. I don't know what the question is. It because of his age that they're saying this? I'm not.
It was so usually in those cases, because especially now when it's lenient because they're under the age of 18. I understand that the frontal lobe of your brain isn't fully developed. Mine still isn't, and I'm in my 40s. I understand that it's like that. Yet there really should be something done about this kid.
Hold on. If they're trying to say that you can legally have sex at an earlier age, if you can make decisions like that, then you should be held responsible for this kind of decision.
You can chop off your willy when you're a little kid, but you can't. I'm sorry, that's the
you
wrong
can't be
accent
held
for that.
responsible for killing 4 people.
I
If
was
you-
gonna say, Aaron, the
That's a
country
little
accent
backwards, don't you
doesn't go with
think?
that.
If you would like to sever your penis from your body at the age of 4, here is a knife and some scissors.
And by the way, if your parents don't agree with it, we'll take you away from them and chop it off for you.
Yeah,
Okay. But
exactly.
if you want to go blow away 4 people and you're 15, 16, and you talk about it for a couple months before you do it and tell a bunch of people, we'll pay for you to live off of us for the rest of your life.
Well,
Have
what's
fun.
even worse is they're doing it in a way where they're doing it behind the parents, backs. Like if they know a parent is not supportive of this, they will groom the child in public schools, and they will groom the child with counselors and all this stuff, and then the parents aren't allowed to know that the child is receiving this type of counseling, because that just is a HIPAA violation, and the parents shouldn't know what their kids are getting into.
Yeah, well,
You
yeah,
won't-
and now go ahead, Erica.
You won't know until social services shows up at your door that there was anything going on like
Yeah.
that.
Well, now, of course, that's a completely different topic, but everything you're all saying, absolutely right. I agree with that. The reason I brought this up is because his dad buys him a 9mm. He goes to school. He had threatened them, I believe, the day before or days before the actual incident took place. There was reason for them to search the kid's bag. The school did not search the bag. He goes into a bathroom, pulls out the 9mm, has 2 extra mags, fully loaded, and he comes out and starts firing meticulously, like he premeditatedly starts firing. I forget the exact word that they use in the description. However, the school is at fault, obviously, for not checking the bag. Actually, the school is at fault for being in existence, but his mom is on trial right now as well. She's being charged with manslaughter because she's the mom, and because there were circumstances, I guess, that are starting to be uncovered as to why this kid was at this point of breaking and going to school and shooting his fellow students. It said that now here's some of the stuff that's come to light. It's being presented at the trial. His mom and her married firefighter chief lover. All right. So his mom is having an affair with the firefighter who's married, the firefighter chief. They had sex parties at hotels while she ignored her son's pleas for mental health treatment. Jennifer Crumbly, 45.
Oh, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. She was really young. She got started really young. She came out fertile, right?
Math is not my best subject, but that.
She was born fertile. You looked at her, boom, she got pregnant. It was like she was Catholic in the Middle Ages, popping out those babies. But she and her lover, Brian Maloke, would often find strangers on a swingers app called Adult Friend Finder and arrange meetups with them at local hotels after work. Prosecutors said in the explosive start to the cross-examination of her mom at trial, Jennifer, who was charged with involuntary manslaughter over her son's shooting rampage, admitted to using the app to arrange for other people to meet us there, but claimed she was going to hotels after work on business. She only met her boyfriend during business hours, and she was a marketing director for a real estate company. But her and her husband, so I guess she was married as well, having an affair with this guy. Her and her husband have been charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter for their son's deadly shooting rampage. Yeah.
I mean, am I missing anything? I'm kind of okay with this. Or maybe I would think accessory to manslaughter even. I might even go right in to say that you're culpable in it, like
Well, isn't manslaughter? Isn't that what
involuntary manslaughter is their own charge, right? Like it's a separate charge, right? But
Yeah.
I think they should be held just as responsible at it. Okay, if well, I mean, there's a lot of ifs here. How old is this kid? Does it say?
he's 17, so I think he was like 15 when it happened.
Okay, so he's 15, and in this day and age, you can get mental health on the corner. I mean, if you put up a sign that says, I need someone to talk to, somebody's going to get you mental health. It's available on your stinking cell phone, for crying out loud. At that
Yeah, but this is a
age,
kid.
so what? Is he? I mean,
Well, so I know I said earlier that if he makes a decision to kill people, he should be tried as an adult. There were these situations.
you
though,
can't have
it's
it
all
both
about-
ways.
I realize that. I'm probably going to be talking about both sides of my mouth because I do want to say this. I do feel that there's culpability with the parents. There's
I
culpability
think. Oh
here.
no, I'm not saying that there's not, but I'm saying that there are avenues where he could have gotten help if he was truly reaching out and trying. But I'm not saying they shouldn't be held responsible for ignoring him asking for. You said cries for mental health assistance, right? So if that was actually happening, of course they have to be held responsible. Of course she's irresponsible. Of course he shouldn't have bought the kid a gun. They all should be held responsible. But I'm just, like, at what point is he responsible for, if he's responsible enough to be given the weapon that, or he wasn't, he should have
Well,
never
I
been
mean,
given the weapon, right? But he sat there and talked about it, made the decision, planned it strategically, systematically, took out 4 people.
I'm
he's been
sorry.
tried.
15
So you
15
blame
years old,
the
That's not the
parents?
case. That's not the case. He's been tried. He's been sentenced to jail. He's actually serving time for his crimes that he's committed. Okay, whether or
Right.
not you think the sentence is heavy enough or not, he's serving the crime. Now it is. Let's look at the other people who are involved here. I think that there's several people. The schools should be involved. Those sheriffs or whomever it was, the security that was there that did not check or inspect his bag. I think that as well. But the parents' involuntary manslaughter is not intending to kill someone, but you kill someone.
But you
because of
did.
your
But you're
actions.
responsible for their
You're
death.
responsible,
Maybe you didn't
exactly.
pull the trigger, but I just think, okay, so
So do you have a
how
problem
far do
with
you
them
go with
going after
that?
the parents at all, or do you have a problem?
No, not at all. Not at all. My
Okay.
problem is then saying like, oh my goodness, you can't say any names. Oh, I don't even. Okay, let's
I
say.
can't say, oh yeah, don't say anything because we don't want to commit.
Let's say you know someone that might be struggling with an issue here in the mentally or whatever, and is going through something, and then they do something. Just knowing that someone is struggling in a way and they make a comment, it doesn't necessarily make you responsible for taking action. So
Yeah.
there, you know what I mean?
But
Like,
this is a bit of a different situation. Like some of the circumstances here, this woman would
I'm
spend
just saying it
days away
lends.
from her home, like hours at night. She would spend away from her kids.
I'm
She would
not saying
clean.
this situation isn't justified. I'm saying it's a slippery slope in the courtroom. It's a slippery slope under the law. If you're going to say that if you knew something and you didn't, or you were a party to knowing that this was going on, or you were negligent because it was your responsibility.
Okay, well, you would have to determine on each instance what is the extent of the knowledge. Like, okay,
Right.
so if I'm standing there and my son is about to walk out, I don't have a son that I know of. He's about to walk out and go to school. I know that he's got his gun. I know that he has threatened to shoot people. Now, I'm not saying this is a situation. I know that he has threatened to shoot people, and I'm like, you know what, son, have a great day. Or if I'm at the school and I know that there is a threat and I don't take extra steps either to suspend, expel, or just search the bag. It depends on the level of knowledge, right? Like the
Right.
parents were intimately involved. There were text messages that were sent between the son, Ethan, and his mom, Jennifer, wherein I think they said in years of these texts, they showed text message exchanges between Jennifer and Ethan in which the word love only appeared 3 times over the course of several years. He was begging, or evidently they say he was begging for mental health assistance. He was begging for help. His mom would leave for hours, several days a week to go
But
out
it sounds like you're
horseback
justifying
riding.
his actions.
No, I'm not. How am I justifying his actions?
It sounds like you're saying he did what he did because he was neglected as a child. Like
No,
it's
I'm saying that the parents did not do their due diligence to take care of their child and to show him the love and to nurture him and to help him out if he's crying out for help. He needed some assistance. They didn't give it to him. They are culpable. And they literally put a gun in his hand. And you know why the mom was upset? They asked her, "Were you upset that your husband bought him a gun?" You know what her answer was? Her answer was, when asked whether she objected to the purchase, she said, "No. I was more angry that they cut into our Christmas tree time. I usually cut my Christmas tree down right after I get back from shopping, but I had to wait for them, so I was irritated." Now, I am not saying that he is not responsible for his actions. He is. He is responsible. Just like I said earlier, he's responsible for his actions. He should be tried and he should be sentenced. I think he should be given the death penalty, right? There is personal responsibility. His parents are also culpable for this. They also should bear the brunt, a heavy portion of the responsibility, because they knew their kid was screwed up and they didn't do jack squat to help him out. Now, I would love to hear what other folks in the audience have to think about this. If you're listening to us on OpsLens or on the Crusade channel, live radio the way it should be. If you're listening to us on Mojo, on Rumble, or on Facebook, wherever it is you might be listening to us right now, under these fruited plains or across these fruited plains, and this great, massive, wide plane of existence on which we live, you can leave a sound off by going to breakdradio.com, clicking on the mic in the bottom right-hand corner, and we will play your sound off on the air, even if you don't agree with me. I will do that. Even if you don't agree with me. Steve Gibson over in the comments says, it takes the right person to actually be listening. Some people are not as connected to someone's actions or ideas. I think he's saying absolutely responsible, so I'm assuming he talks about the parents as well. Jennifer, J-May over there. Good morning, J-May. Good morning, Steve. J-May says, lock them all up together. Put them in Gen Pop. There you go. She said, evidently Brian is moving faster than she can type. Well, that's the first time Brian has been faster than anything.
Wait. Say what now?
I just want to I want to respectfully disagree.
With whom?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, let's hear it.
I mean, by virtue, I'm disagreeing with many of the comments because they all agree with you. Kiss ass, but whatever.
Brain is moving. She said brain, not Brian, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, the brain. Okay, Erica,
I just
you
want
have
to
the floor to
disagree.
respectfully disagree with me. Please do so.
I feel I'm not saying that the parents should not be held partially responsible for the actions of their child in this situation, because they obviously were neglectful and they were instigatory in their actions. Yes. I don't think you can charge them with the same thing.
I don't think you can charge them with the same
they're not
thing,
being
and
charged with the same
It
thing.
is the same. You are charging
not
them.
the same thing.
Yes, it is. You're charging them. I know you're not charging them with manslaughter, right? You're charging them with involuntary manslaughter. But that, I mean, I just think that that's really slippery. That's like me. That's like my friend getting fired, and I know that he is a concealed carry holder, and he says, "I'm so pissed off, I'm going to kill that guy." Right? to whatever, right? And then he actually does. And then I'm responsible. I
Because you
could be
didn't do
charged
something.
with involuntary manslaughter because I didn't do something when he said that. And I
No,
don't
but
that
again,
I
I'm sorry. You have the floor. My apologies, Erica. Go ahead.
I just, and I'm not saying that it's the same thing. I'm not saying that this is the situation because they were obviously negligent and abusive. Obviously. I'm not saying they shouldn't be punished, but I think that's just slippery on the back end of the precedent that it sets for who's responsible for what.
Well, and I think the other thing you got to
Sounds
look
an
at
awful
too-
lot like you're actually agreeing with me. But go ahead,
Well,
Brian.
Well, okay,
I'm
so
I'm
again,
exactly
the
the
slippery slope,
opposite.
the slippery slope is this, and we can take this to the extreme like we always do here on the show because that's what we do. But so that's like saying if you see somebody on the side of the road, if you see a police officer that is in distress because he's trying to arrest somebody or she's trying to arrest somebody and cannot handle this person, and they see through a series of maybe cameras or something like that that your car passed by and you didn't stop and help the police officer, then you're being held culpable as well. I mean, I think you can take that to the extreme is if you had the ability to stop something and didn't, and you're being charged with that crime, I think that does become a very slippery slope, and before too long, I mean, where does that stop? Where do you take it? Granted, I think parents do have a greater responsibility. I'm not arguing that. I think parents have a huge responsibility, but at 15 years old, I don't know that. Well, there's a
No,
lot.
don't
Just
stop.
keep
There-
talking.
there's a
At
lot of parents. Hang on, let me finish. There's a lot of parents
It's
who
coming.
will argue that they didn't know where their child was, and that's why she ended up pregnant, or they didn't know why their child was, and that's why he ended up on drugs.
Well,
Or they
no,
didn't know and so do you blame the parent for premarital sex? Do you blame the parents for getting involved in drugs, or do you just stop at murder?
Brian,
Did you
if you
roll your
give your
eyes?
kid condoms, if I had a son and I gave him a pack of condoms and I was like, "Go have fun, son," and he knocks up the neighbor's daughter, I'm responsible for that because I gave him the permission and the allowance. I encouraged him to go do something. If I give somebody who's troubled a gun and I say, "Here, let's go shoot. I'm going to teach you how to shoot it," and they kill somebody, there
We're not
should be, depending. Now, again, you all are making these examples of driving by an incident where if you're a Christian and you drive by, a cop or somebody being assaulted and you don't do something about it, yeah, I think you're culpable both ethically and possibly legally. But you all are taking this. I think you all are removing it too far from this because you're looking at the situations during which someone does not have intimate of involvement in those circumstances. These were his parents. He lived with them. He texted, he reached out, he tried to get them to help. They decided they wanted to live their own lives. She was a swinger and went banging other guys in the fire chief at a hotel and other women. She would leave for hours during the week. Blah, blah, blah. We've already talked about all these details. I just think that what we're doing here is you all disagree with me, which is perfectly fine. So and I'm what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it at that, not trying to leave it on me being right, but you all disagree with me. We disagree with one another, and that's perfectly fine for you all to be wrong. Erica, let me ask you a question. Where did I get my hat?
You got your awesome unbent build tinfoil hat at Break D Outfitters. If you want to get yourself a tinfoil hat, which you kind of need if you're not noticing, if you're new here, it's something you might want to have when you come watch the breakdown. But just go to breakdradio.com and click on the hamburger, the three little lines. Go to Break D Outfitters, get yourself a sweatshirt. This is, I was told this morning by Aaron, one of the better quality sweatshirts that I have on.
Yeah.
I would say get a different color because we're going to change the blue on this. Doesn't show up very well, but it's super comfortable, extremely soft. I have the shirt too. I have that shirt with the stripes on the sleeves. Everything is amazing, true to size. Go there. It helps the show. It helps us, and it makes you look cool.
It does make you look super cool, especially with these tinfoil hats like the bearded pastor and I have.
The bucket hat is the best. Get the bucket hat too.
Oh man, the bucket hat is awesome. My girls love bucket hats. I think low key, I think I'm gonna have to get that for their birthdays.
Tim has said that you need to go get your bucket hat and put it on, Erica.
Okay, well, we have a hard break coming up. I'll go find my bucket hat.
There we go. All right, folks. Now here's something. We have a few minutes to get into this. Have you all seen the footage from Senator Hawley dumping on Mark Zuckerberg this week? Have you all seen that? Anything?
I saw part of it, but I didn't see the whole thing.
So what Senator Hawley did was there were several instances over the years where Facebook and Instagram both have been used for child sexual exploitation, right? There is a longer clip. It's about almost 7 minutes long. I'm not going to get into the full thing about this. There were several things that happened during this clip. And here is just a portion of this that I want to play for you. I want to get y'all's opinion on this. This is Senator Hawley from Minnesota talking to Mark Zuckerberg as he interviews him at the House this week on child sexual exploitation.
So you didn't take any action. You didn't take any action. You didn't fire anybody. You haven't compensated a single victim. Let me ask you this. There's families of victims here today. Have you apologized to the victims? Would you like to do so now? Well, they're here. You're on national television. Would you like now to apologize to the victims who have been harmed by your product? Show them the pictures. Would you like to apologize for what you've done to these good people?
Here comes his apologies.
And this is why we invested so much and are going to continue doing industry-leading efforts to make sure that no one has to go through the types of things that your families have had to suffer.
You know, why, Mr. Zuckerberg, why should your company not be sued for this? Why is it that you can claim, you hide behind a liability shield, you can't be held accountable?
So that was Senator Hawley going after him. Now, he tears into him a couple of times. I mean, again, the video is a longer clip. He tears into him a couple of times saying, you're a billionaire. Why don't you pay for these families? Why don't you do it out of your own pocket? Why haven't you compensated them? Constantly interrupts Zuckerberg throughout this. I mean, just like really, I would encourage you to go watch the video. And if you all have seen it, I would love to get your opinions on it, Erica and Brian. What do you think about that? This whole thing about them going after Zuckerberg like this? Can you hear me, Erica? Hold on just a second. Why can't I hear y'all?
I don't agree with it. I don't think it's right.
You don't think it's right? Why don't you think that it's right?
I'm not saying that he shouldn't be. Should he be sitting there answering questions? But is he the only one responsible?
I think that the reason they went after him was because he owns the company, or he runs the company. They did go after several other people. They were like, hey, here are these videos and all this stuff that or these emails that were sent to you, et cetera, who was fired, who was not fired, and all of that.
I mean, you're making him stand up right there and isn't he under oath if he's answering questions in Congress or in committee?
Yeah, he can.
Right. So now you just made him give an apology under oath, which isn't that an admission of guilt? I don't know. Yeah. That seems like if I were him, as bad as it would have looked, because optics are everything, right? I might have said, I don't have an issue with apologizing for something that happened to but I'm not going to stand up right now here in the middle of this situation and do it. I don't think it's the time or the place. And I mean, Hawley might have gone crazy over that, but I think he should have opted out of making that statement unless he had one.
There were several times during that you could tell it wasn't, and this is one of the things that annoyed me. And maybe I can pull it up. Maybe we have time here in this. I say annoyed. I'm not trying to. Let's see if I can pull this up here and let you all see what he was saying to him towards the end of the video. This is what he had to say to him.
We set up a compensation fund, Senator, with your money.
I think these are
with your money.
Senator, these are complicated
Yes, no,
issues.
that's not a complicated question, though. That's a
Senator,
yes or no.
this is-
Will you set up a victims compensation fund with your money, the money you made on these families sitting behind you? Yes or no?
Senator, I don't think that's my job is to
Sounds
make
like
sure
a
we build
no.
good tools. My
See right there, he's like, sounds like a no. And I was like, wait a second, you're asking him under oath. Now, should Zuckerberg be responsible for some of this? Again, yes, he's culpable. He runs the company. If there's child pornography happening on his watch, on his company, which on Instagram, it was all over the place. Like they exposed this years ago. If you cared about child exploitation and you saw the amount of child porn that was going on there, as the leader of that place, you should have made the decision. Done. Pull the plug. Stop the URL. Stop everybody from visiting the site until you can show me. I will lose millions, hundreds of millions, until you can show me that children are not going to be exploited on here, and until you can provide me the algorithms that prevent children from being exploited on my platforms, we're done. We're not launching again.
Is it because it's online? Is it because it's accessible online? Is that your? Because I'm just wondering if where is the senator calling on the owners of Target? Where's the senator calling on the owners of every company then who exploits children and holding their ownership financially and personally responsible under oath to admit guilt in committee? I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Has anybody out there, and I'm not necessarily asking you, Brian and Eric, you probably know. Does anybody know who Catherine Bolkovic is? Or Catherine Bolkovic? She is the whistleblower who exposed a pedophile ring for a U.S. military contractor in Bosnia.
Yeah.
DynCorp. She exposed that they were trafficking from they were trafficking kids over in Iraq and over in the Middle East. They were selling them for profit. They were selling them as slaves. They were trafficking them and destroying lives and having kids killed. Right?
Yeah, and she proved they were members of the UN involved.
Where's Holly? Where's all the senators? Where's the congressional hearing to stop the conservative military-industrial complex when it comes to child pornography?
No.
Child sex trafficking. Like
No,
we're going to
it's
go
very-
after
I
Zuckerberg.
mean-
Now Zuckerberg is responsible, absolutely. But what annoys me is that the conservatives are going to go after Zuckerberg because he's the one all of the neocon Trump supporters hate right now. That's the poster child. That's who they're going to go after to destroy. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. This is a hard break for those who are listening. We'll be back in a couple minutes. You can continue listening to us. During the break, I suggest that you go buy yourself a tinfoil hat or at least leave the sound off. BreakTRadio.com. Click on the mic at the bottom right-hand corner. We'll see you in a minute. All right, that's the first hour in, Karen. I tell you what,
I'll be right back.
you go get that bucket hat, Erica, and try to calm down a bit.
Wait, I really have to find the bucket hat? I'll look.
I-
I'll
I-
look.
I was just playing. I don't care if you wear it or not. You know, it's just product placement and, you know, us supporting the show and all that stuff. But I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, if you don't want to wear our
Stop
product,
talking. I'm wearing a breakdown shirt.
oh, you are, aren't you?
Dang. Man, somebody's getting awful touchy this morning. What's up, Aaron?
I'm not touchy. I'm getting through. I've had a cup of coffee and I'm getting through some other stuff. So I'm happy.
Okay.
Green force kicking in here. I am in a great mood. This is my happy place, man. Like my family and my show are my happy places.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, it really is. They really are. Okay. Let's see. So did we get, oh my gosh, we didn't do bad theology. Holy crud. We got into that
I was going to say, is there a reason why you moved that to the first hour? Because I really like that, but I didn't know if there was a reason for it.
It's just moved.
I like it.
So
I like it a lot.
All right. So we've got, for those people who may be watching on OpsLens or somewhere else that carries this middle of the show, middle of the break here, this is where we take a station break, and it is about 4 minutes. So we will be back at 4 minutes after the hour for your listening and viewing pleasure. And if you are listening out there on OpsLens or any of the other places, give us a heads up. Let us know where you are listening from. You can also send a sound off. Go to Break D Radio. Of course, you know the instructions on how to do that by now. I've said it ad nauseum. Head on over there. We can also play that for you too. And that would be fantastic to have on the air today, even if it's just a simple thing like where you're listening from or your name. All right. Oh, this next one, Brian. Oh, oiga filter fish. I don't know if you sent. I don't think you sent this to me.
I'd have to see which one it is. I don't remember.
Oh shoot! I'm gonna have to do. We might. Oh man. I might have to do bad theology after the first quarter break there. All right, I'll be right back. Oh, sorry. So sorry.
All right. Are you happy now? Why do you keep screwing up the music?
Welcome back to the breakdown, folks. Thanks for staying with us. Big show. We got bad theology coming up here. We totally went past bad theology last hour, and I'm so terribly sorry for everybody who set their clocks for that. We will be playing that here momentarily for you and going through it. There's so much, so much stupidity in the world now. I'm about to show for you something today. I showed my wife and my daughter last night, my youngest daughter this, Bree. You all know Bree. She's been on the show before. I'm without introduction, without anything. Just here is this. We all complain. Let me introduce that real quick because I want to make sure we set the context for it. Women want men to be men, right? Erica, am I right on that?
I love this.
Really, man?
Yes. I crave toxic masculinity.
You drink it up like liberal tears. You crave
Yes.
it, right? All right.
Yes.
So here is a young.
I'm sorry, Aaron. That needs to be a soundbite.
Here is a person that, here's a person that also craves toxic masculinity.
I'm not a big fan of toxic masculinity.
Hold on just a second here. We want to be able to hear the toxic masculinity being craved by this young being.
I'm not a big fan of toxic masculinity or like whatever, like the norms, I guess. But I like when there's just like a little bit of that, like I'm the man and I'm gonna take charge, you know, like because like why not, you know? I feel like a lot of boys need to start being boys though, like when it comes to like the male roles, because a lot of like men nowadays are expecting princess treatment, and it's like, okay, well, I want that energy just as bad as you do. For example, like let's say I get a flat tire on the side of the road, and we're together. You better know how to change that tire. like, you better know how to do these things. Because if I have to call my dad, just like I said, no. Sorry, babe.
So, Erica, can you guess what stick that is?
Can I guess what?
That's not a chick.
That's a guy.
I don't think it is.
That's a dude. Now, I mean, like, that's a dude. And for those who are watching,
Okay,
that's
I knew that much.
I mean, like,
I knew that.
this, yeah.
And his internet name is Gorlock the Destroyer.
So imagine, Gorlock the Destroyer. So a trans influencer who you may know by the name of Gorlock the Destroyer is going viral because he said that declining masculinity is getting out of control and that men expect princess treatment in dating. Gorlock's claim to fame was due to being on the Whatever podcast when his audio was replaced with the character Jabba the Hutt. He is trending again because he made some incredibly self-evident comments as he claimed a big problem in society is the declining masculinity. Now, the ironic thing about this is he is dressing up like and acting like a woman, complaining that we don't have masculine men in our country anymore, and that's our problem.
Oh, Aaron, he's not supposed to be a man. He was supposed to be a woman.
I mean, if I have to call my dad,
if I had to call my dad, then no, babe, no.
Like, no, Dad. I'm not gonna die. I mean, now this is.
I just wonder if his dad would show up.
No,
Right?
you look at these situations. You're like, call you stupid would be an insult to stupid because this is so far outside the pale. You have stupid is a small black dot. You can't even see stupid on the horizon. You're so far away from that.
I mean,
but this is the mind of people that have been affected by sin.
By sin, I mean, there is way more. Also, glaucoma, because who is looking? I mean, how are you even? How is that? Whatever it identifies as, other than Jabba the Hutt, going on camera and being like, "This is a good look for me. This is a good look for me."
Well, what I thought was especially great was having the crop top, the shirt right underneath the breasts.
Yeah,
where
breasts.
Where it
no. We're
men
not
have breasts.
breast tissue. They don't have breasts.
This Jabba's got boobs. Okay,
he's got fat guy
right
boobs
up underneath the breastises, and then
he's got moobs.
Exposing the gut below. I thought
those were like makes, like pancakes. Those were like man pancakes. Those weren't moobs. Moobs would be like moobs. These were like.
Are we seriously talking about what
that was gross? That was disgusting. And
I mean, the term here, folks.
Look, I tried to go with Jabba the Hutt. If you can't picture it with the crop top on, then I can't help you.
I don't know what's worse, the Jabba character or Brian and me starting to close
exactly. Oh my gosh!
I think it's the fact that both of your geekdoms just splurted out at the same time.
You know what's really funny? Hang on. You want to hear something really funny, Aaron, about this? Is I watched the episode where Gorlock,
man, it's a he, dude.
Yeah. Where he got his claim to fame, and his argument is that he could have any guy he wanted.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm sorry.
What? Huh?
What? Did you say that backwards?
No. He could have any guy he wanted because in his mind, he is a 10. He actually called himself a 10
out of infinity
as a chick. No, as a chick.
No, I know, but like a 10 out of what? A 10 out of 10? That's.
Well, I don't know what I don't know what.
You know, is that kind of ignorance bliss though? Maybe he's better off.
Ignorance. I don't think it's bliss or not bliss. It's just ignorance.
I'm just wondering if actually believing. I mean, that's a lot of self-confidence that we always tell people, hey, listen, you should be more confident in yourself. Don't worry about how you look. You look great. You know, you got to love yourself. And now we have a thing that actually loves itself, I guess.
Gorlock should be a little bit less self-confident.
So you want to talk about self-confidence here, since we're talking about this. Now, I don't have, somebody is genetically predisposed to gaining weight. I'm like myself, I'm a big dude. I'm a heavy guy. I know I'm a heavy guy. And I try to do stuff about it. Like, we're actually in a process now of eating healthier, et cetera. Like we used to do, eating organic, et cetera, those kind of things. But I'm not going to go off on that because I hate talking about meal plans, because everybody's got their own and everybody gets mad. It's like the Apple Android thing. But I don't walk around proud that I am a fat guy. Like, I don't walk around proud that I have the fat guy knot on my shoes, because I can't bend over to tie my shoes. I have to cross my legs to tie them. So my knots are on the insides of my shoes when I tie my shoes. They're fat guy knots, right? I will not resort to wearing Velcro shoes. I'm not in my 80s yet. Not going to do that. I do wear slip-ons, though. I don't walk around proud of it. Here is, since we're on this topic of weight, and since y'all brought up Jabba, this is a viral video as well about people really just celebrating their weight and their unhealthiness, I guess you could say. Here's this.
We're plus-size travelers, of course.
Let me turn this up a bit so everybody can hear it.
Oh my gosh, plus-size travelers. I love this.
There you go.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we check to see if there's a customer size policy before booking.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we're expected to pay more just to travel comfortably.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we think about if we need a second seat before we book a flight.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we ask for the seatbelt extender as soon as we board the flight.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we get dirty looks anytime we're traveling.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course society doesn't believe we deserve to travel.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we can't use a tray table on a plane.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we have to look through tons of pictures just to see if a place is plus-size friendly.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we have to walk sideways down the plane aisle to make sure we don't hit you with our ass.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we can't use the airplane lavatory comfortably.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we have to do hours of research just to go somewhere.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we use apps like SeatGrid to navigate travel and clear documents.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we check weight limits on like almost everything.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we have to worry about weight-based discrimination.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we bring compression socks on all of our trips.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we can't find our sizes in souvenir shops.
We're plus-size travelers. Of course we get an extra pat down at security.
Now I don't know if I'm not that big, but I don't get an extra pat down at security. I only did that one time when I had my beard was longer. I had only my phone and had a phone wallet, had only my phone. I was wearing cargo shorts and I had a one-way ticket. That looked kind of suspicious. Say pat.
I think they don't understand what plus size traveling means. And I think if I ever do get an extra pat down, it's because they just like to watch me try to take my shoes off.
So like and I wear slip-ons, and that's a big reason why I wear Hey Dudes, and I wore those when we traveled. But here's my thing. Hey, we're plus size travelers. Rather than spending extra money on a ticket, I'm going to spend $15 a month on a gym membership and get healthy. Maybe that's what they should be doing and focusing on.
I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me mojo or give me death. Mojo 50.
Let's face it, trying to build your own website can be a frustrating task, but you can't have a company, church, nonprofit, or business without a web presence. That's where SiteFX comes in. SiteFX provides complete website creation from a simple blog style to template-based sites. SiteFX can even give you absolute customization services, bringing your vision to digital life. Even if you already have a website, there's always room for growth. SiteFX has 15 years of experience staying in tune with the current web trends, add-ons, designs, and coding updates. SiteFX even offers comprehensive social media management to assist with your difficult schedule. Don't spend another valuable minute worrying about your web presence. Let SiteFX help you take your business to the next level. Visit them on the web at sitefx.org. That's SITEFX.org. Or call 859-905-0016. That's 859-905-0016. 859-905-0016. SiteFX, your life with an electronic edge. All right, folks, welcome back. Thanks for taking a moment to break with us there. Now, okay, so we've got to get to bad theology. If we don't, I honestly believe that people will start congregating outside my studio and throwing things at it. I've got to get to it. And we're going to be talking about Erica's favorite topic in the entire world. The favoriteest topic Erica has. Can you tell me what it is, Erica?
Nope.
You know what it is, don't you?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
I have a lot of favorites. I mean, it sounds like you're talking about something that's going to make my head explode, which is there are many options.
Oh, yeah. And right now it's time for the segment that everybody loves.
You're teaching some bad theology. Your bad theology's annoying me. Oh, you're teaching some bad theology. Repentance is the only cure that you need.
That's right. This is the segment of the show where we talk about bad theology and we discuss the things that will make we discuss the things that make you go crazy and make you scratch your head. Even worse than Jabba Lady there was doing with her, her complaint, his complaint that we don't have enough men in this world. So here we go. This is some really bad theology right here. Just brace yourself. For those of you who are more theologically astute, there is obviously, as some people know, the Pentecostal that believes in the continuing gifts of the Spirit, that we can still speak in tongues, that there's still revelation from God, that the gifts of healings, etc., still exist as they did back in the Old Testament times, or some semblance of that. Here is a pastor that was getting some new revelation. This was this was where he got that revelation. So here we go.
It's a beautiful day. Got my Bible. I'm ready to go.
Oh boy, I tell you what, this is not. Let me turn this up real quick. There we go. This is the pastor's revelation right here.
Got my Bible. I'm ready to go.
I asked the demon, I said, when it comes to praying in tongues, is it true that the longer we pray, the more power is produced? This was his answer.
So I asked a demon the other day.
Seriously, dude. I mean, you're a preacher of some sort. You're standing behind a pulpit, and then you're telling us that you're asking demons if praying in tongues increases your spiritual power. I mean,
I'm not asking a demon for anything.
It's a demon. You think the demon's going to be like, oh, let me tell you theologically accurate truths.
Right.
No.
Of course. Why wouldn't he? What? I didn't know there was like demon time. I thought I didn't know there was, you guys have prayer time to both sides.
See,
everything that the guy said right there was theologically blasphemous at best, completely sanctimonious or religious at best, and it was horrible. I mean, there is nothing about what that guy said in any of those conversations or any of that clip that would be like, yeah, I could see why he would do that. Or, I mean, Jesus never spoke to demons other than to tell them to get out. He didn't ask their name.
Get out. Get out.
Yeah, that's it. He just told them, get out, leave. You have no business here. Leave. And that just, it's sad.
And it continues here since we're on demonology. Let's look at this one also from the Holy Nope. And this is him preparing to go to church as well. And a guy preaching a sermon that on demonology here.
It's the Lord's Day. I got my Bible. I'm ready to hear the word.
So now we have pastors that literally get mad if you preach on deliverance. Literally get mad if you, some of you are wiggling right now. I don't know about this because you have a demon. I'm serious. I know I try to sugarcoat it, but I don't have time this morning. It's a demon. That's what makes you not want to do deliverance.
Nope.
So there you go. That guy's saying that Christians also sitting in there have demons. I mean, I'm glad. I don't mind talking about spiritual warfare. I think it's extremely important. There are a lot of Christians out there in the Reformed tradition that don't want to talk about it because it lends a lot to supernatural things that are happening. I think it's extremely important that we discuss those things. However, When you say that somebody is demon possessed as a Christian, you kind of lose credibility because there's no such thing as a demon possessed Christian. Just a quick heads up for you out there that may not know that. Here's another one. This is not a video. This is actually an article. This was written by an Ohioan, and she wants you to know a Christian. Good. I like.
Oh, and it looks like we dropped Mr. Barker. Apparently, the demons don't like when you make fun of them. I hope.
So here's this woman that is from Ohio. Now, it's kind of weird because you would think an Ohioan and a Christian. Well, that's kind of weird to begin with. Let's see what she has to say here. She is what would you call? She's a teacher, she says. She says here, Joseph, we are told, wore an amazing Technicolor dream coat. But it wasn't just any coat. It was, according to 2 Samuel 13:18, the kind of clothing that young princesses used to wear. This is just one of the ways the Bible indicates that the shapely and beautiful Joseph crossed gender boundaries. And he was not the only one. Deborah led an army. Mordecai breastfed his cousin Esther, and Daniel breastfed his cousin Esther, and Daniel was probably a eunuch. For scholars like me, this is her, Esther Brownsmith is her name. The Bible, scholar, yes, a scholar. We have to listen to what she has to say.
Yeah, okay.
Scholar, right? So it says here that for scholars like her who research the Bible, these are just a few of the ways that Scripture portrays gender as a colorful spectrum, not a rigid binary. Even God is sometimes described with feminine language, as a midwife or a nursing mother. Yes, the Bible was written in a patriarchal time, but it recognizes that people reimagined and reshaped their gender identities back then, just like they do today. Now, the whole purpose of this, by the way, she's writing this as a teacher of Hebrew and as a professor. She's writing this because the legislature in Ohio overturned Mike DeWine's veto of a House bill that she says targets trans youths. She says that the Department of Health have proposed additional new rules that would effectively prohibit gender-affirming care to trans and non-binary people of any age by requiring them to jump through hoops such as approval by a medical ethicist. Now, why would someone who claims to be a biblical scholar have an issue with a person who is about to lop off their body parts having a discussion with the medical ethicist? Now, is the medical ethicist going to be Christian-based? Probably not. But isn't it proper? Shouldn't we welcome the counsel and the discussion about whether or not we actually should allow our children to chop off their body parts? But she says that we're withholding life-saving, gender-affirming care, causing them to jump through hoops. I would think that that would be the best decision, because nowhere in the Bible does it say that a person decided to change their quoting fingers gender, because there is no such thing as gender, by the way, their gender by lopping off body parts. Now, I understand we have the eunuch, and that's a different situation. That is a dedication to God for a specific purpose, okay? We're not talking about that right now. What we're talking about is the changing, the doing that to change your identity or your gender expression.
Well,
that's not biblical. There's nowhere you can, unfortunately, Brian, but like you can bend scripture, but there's nowhere that you're going to find scripture that says.
Why isn't this
And I
teacher
think
as
that's the important part there, is that they're bending scripture. They know they're bending scripture. They're taking it completely out of context. You know, when they talk about Mordecai, who was a man, breastfeeding anyone, again, we get into the poetic or we get into the allegory. This is something that they need to go back and look at freaking context and quit trying to put an agenda that is completely anti-Christ and anti-biblical doctrine. This is absolutely what every single woke individual in the world is doing on every level, whether it be on abortion, whether it be on murder, whether it be on immigration, They're taking the Word of God and they're literally taking the Word of God out of context intentionally to push an agenda to make Christians who don't know the Word of God, who don't know how to study the Scriptures, and they twist their hearts and their minds to think that you can live however you want to because the Bible should be just taken by, whatever we say it says. I'm sorry, there is so much wrong with this. And then she says, well, a scholar like me, honey, you ain't studied Dr. Seuss, much less the Scriptures.
Okay, hold on. One, I think the author of the article said scholars. I don't know if that was a direct quote. It sounded more like maybe the author. So I don't know that she called herself a scholar, but I don't know why this woman isn't as responsible for the destruction of lives as the parents who gave the mentally unstable child a gun.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? Did she give him a scalpel? You're going to bring this back up?
Why? I mean, how it's irresponsible. It's irresponsible. Why isn't it just as? Why aren't you responsible for it there?
Because just like Brian said, there is a context and there is a circumstance and there is a situation, right? Although she approves of these things, she is not the one that is directly responsible, unless she is, for counseling someone to lop off their body parts. If she is responsible for it, and she should be held liable for it. Just like a parent who lives with their child, who allows their child to have a gun and kill people, should be responsible for that as well. Are we gonna revisit that one today? We got other bad theology.
No, not at all. Please keep moving. I was just, relating.
That's Aaron's way of saying
We're not
along.
talking about this, right?
We're not talking about this because I could be wrong. No, I'm just kidding. I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about you. I'm
dear.
talking about me.
Oh, wow. That was like the quickest backtrack ever. Go ahead with your bad theology, Maestro.
And the guy who says that the Joseph wore the coat of many colors because it was prepared with patches. That's
like a princess.
That's not princess attire.
Break time. All right, folks, we'll see you in a minute right here on the breakdown, where you just never know what silly things are going to come out of Erica's mouth. We'll find out when we get back.
Fighting for your right to be wrong. Mojo 50.
Supply chain disruptions, shortages, panic buying. Unfortunately, they've all become facts of life in 2021. The good news is you have preparewithmojo50.com as a hedge against all the craziness. At preparewithmojo50.com, not only will you find emergency food supplies.
Remember when that seemed like a fringe conspiracy theory thing to do?
Not so much anymore, right? Not only will you find the emergency food supply, but also water filtration, air filtration, all sorts of other tools that you can use in the event of an unforeseen situation or emergency, which with every day that goes by seems more and more likely. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Preparewithmojo50.com. If you want to keep food on the table, if you just want to maintain some sense of normalcy, preparewithmojo50.com is the answer.
Preparewithmojo50.com. Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
A lot of news this week. We heard that, unfortunately, Carl Weathers died.
So sad.
This was yesterday. That is, you think about that. I mean, my childhood, Rocky. He was Apollo Creed. He was in Predator. He was in Action Jackson. He was, he was even in movies my kids watch. Happy Gilmore. He was also not my kids watch that, but Balto. He did a voice in Balto, which is one of my daughter's favorite movies. And then, of course, he was in Grief Karga in Mandalorian. So has had a continued career from when I was a kid all the way up to now. Used to be a linebacker, and he turned actor, and he starred in the Rocky movies, of course, as we just talked about. Now, he died with, from what I can gather, no real explanation. Pretty much a died suddenly type situation. And I found this pretty incredible here on his Twitter. He posted this. Let me pull this picture up for you so you can see it, because I want you all to be able to have an idea of what he said here.
I thought he died in his sleep.
That's still pretty sudden, isn't it? I mean, I'm not being smart.
Isn't he in his 80s?
Was he in his 80s?
I mean, Sylvester Stallone's in his 70s.
Yeah. And interesting. We had that's so weird. We covered a Rocky thing last week on the show. For those that listened to it. Okay, so evidently it was turned off, but he was fully vaxxed and boosted. Bragged about this, as a matter of fact, over on his Twitter. And he posted that up. I'm not able to pull the picture up. Looks like it's been taken down by somebody or blocked, so I can't see that anymore. He died, as mentioned there, and he was fully boosted and fully vaxxed. Nobody expected him to die. I mean, I know he was old, but he was healthy. Here's another one. A Brazilian soccer star, 18 years old, is now under investigation over the death of a nursing student, 19 years old, who had 4 heart attacks the night after having sex with him. She evidently, Brazilian soccer player Damas de Oliveira, 18, is under investigation for the death of a 19-year-old nursing student who died after suffering 4 heart attacks following a night of sex with the sporting star. Corinthians under 20 player De Oliveira told Sao Paulo authorities that Lavia da Silva, 19, fell ill at his apartment on Tuesday after the pair had sex. He called an ambulance, telling the authorities she had fainted, but when the paramedics arrived, they found the teenager bleeding from her vagina. Investigators made a request for da Silva's medical records. Brazilian news outlet G1 reported, and a cause of death is yet to be confirmed. Now, this is another case of a seemingly healthy. They show a picture of her here, just to, her head and shoulders, but seemingly healthy young lady.
I'm not following this. He's being investigated because she died after a night of sex with him.
Yes, she had 4 heart attacks, is what they're saying.
I don't know how that has anything to do with it, but okay.
Well, I guess he was a lot to handle. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was just she couldn't take it all. I don't know. I mean, there's
I mean, I don't. That's weird.
Wow.
A lot of stuff there. A lot of stuff there. All right. Now, this, just so you know, by the way, for anybody who cares, we know we have Alexa out there, but Amazon is launching an AI assistant named Rufus. The AI-powered assistant will soon be here to help shoppers answer questions and recommend products. In a Thursday statement, the tech company described the Rufus as an expertly trained shopping tool to assist customers with shopping needs, products, and comparisons, make recommendations based on this context, and facilitate product discovery in the same Amazon shopping experience customers use regularly. This is the incorporated AI is going to be continuing. I know we already have chatbots and such when you contact companies or customer service is chat-based, etc. These are a little more personal, like Alexa, only they're dealing with you specifically, trying to get you to buy more crap. Alexa's there to answer questions, right? This thing is here.
Well, you would think so. Is Rufus? I don't like it. I probably wouldn't use that. I don't like Rufus. Does it stand for something?
It doesn't say that it stands for anything. Well, actually, why is the AI assistant called Rufus? According to New York Times, Amazon employees are allowed to bring in dogs to their office buildings, and one of the first dogs to have roamed around the company was named Rufus. Oh,
right.
The Welsh.
See, I mean, that would have been my second thing, because I'm an Android user, and we don't have Siri. Our our thing is called Bixby, and I don't use it because I'm not going to say, "Hey
Hello,
Bixby."
Bixby.
I'm not going to do that. So
I
you
love
know, I don't.
Bixby. What are you talking
I don't.
about? Bixby's
I
awesome.
hate that, and I don't. So I don't know if I would be like, "Okay, Rufus," or "Hey, Rufus." Like I don't know. No,
I will say
I
for the Samsung, if you talk about Bixby, one of the coolest things about Bixby is it does a lot more phone specific tasks where, like, if you say, "Hey Google," it's more of like a internet wide search type thing.
My gosh.
But if I want
No.
my phone to do something, if I want my phone to, like if I want to like when I'm driving, I'll tell Bixby to turn on Pandora, or I'll tell Bixby to navigate to a certain spot. And what it will do, and no, I'm not talking to you now, Bixby, go away. But
Okay.
but the cool part about it is it's almost well, I think it's a whole lot better as far as what it does. And it's like somebody using Siri. I mean, to me, I don't know how good Siri is because I never liked Siri at all. I tried and didn't like it. But I'm not a Apple guy, so.
So now, of course, introduction of AI, because and I understand the driving thing, but evidently it's too hard for somebody to actually pick up their phone and type a question into an internet search platform. Now, this is this
When
is
it's illegal,
interesting.
yeah, it is.
Erica, this is your most favorite topic that you love to talk about on the show. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift.
Oh, it's okay. I can do that this morning.
Now, Taylor Swift, now there were sexually explicit Taylor Swift AI images that have been circulating online, and people have been losing their minds about them, especially Taylor Swift and her fan base, the Swifties, because somebody found, in these AI generating tools, found a way to create sexually explicit or pornographic images of one of the biggest pop stars in history and start circulating those around the internet, because evidently being a public figure does not keep you insulated or safe from any of these pictures or anything that happens like this, or any controversies or anything like that. The slew of sexually explicit, artificially intelligent images of Taylor Swift are making the rounds on X, formerly Twitter, angering fans and highlighting harmful implications of the technology. In one mock photo created with AI-powered image generators, Swift is seen posing inappropriately while at a Kansas City Chiefs game. The Grammy Award winner has been seen increasingly at the team's games in real life, supporting football beau Travis Kelce. While some of the images have been removed for violating X's rules, others remain online. Swift has not commented on the images publicly. Here's my question. They've thrown a fit about this. AI images are created like this. The government is stepping in and they're like, "Oh, the power of AI. We must stop this. We must prevent it." How many times, if an artist were to just take up a canvas and draw a pornographic picture of Taylor Swift, take a picture of it and put it online, what's the difference between that and AI?
There's nothing.
I thought that was a rhetorical question. There's no difference.
I think when people start arguing about AI, and I have played around with AI, AI can do exactly what the human mind can do, but a whole heck of a lot faster. And I'm not advocating for it replacing human intellects. I don't think that. But the fact of the matter is that I can ask AI a question, or I can have AI write me a statement. I had AI write me a legal contract the other day, and then send it to my attorney, and he's like, "This is impeccable. Who wrote this for you?" He said, I can't find any holes in this contract. Who wrote this for you? I mean, so it cost me absolutely nothing to have AI do what it did, because I just asked it to write said agreement. Now, I think that it gets a little bit iffy when people are using it to write books and try to make money off of it. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think AI is necessarily a bad thing. I think that it's like every other thing in the world. It can be abused, but I don't think it's a bad thing. And Erica's rolling her eyes at me because she thinks if you don't take pen to paper and go get the dictionaries and dust the dust off of them, then you're not really doing your research. And I disagree. So there you go.
Wow, I'm glad on the talk show that Brian gave the opinion of the other host. So now,
that's not entirely true. I think it shouldn't be
But
used for.
there is a modicum of truth in what I said, though, right?
Yes, I do
Okay.
believe the application is important. I think doing a contract that's legally sound using AI is smart. I think using AI to write your sermons on Sunday is stupid and reckless, and you shouldn't be doing that.
I don't know anybody who does that, but okay.
People do it, Brian. You know people do that. Don't act like don't act like they don't.
Don't tread on my mojo. Mojo 50.
At Romika Designs, we're more than just a laser engraving and specialty design company. Much more. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs, and if you can dream it, we can probably make it. We can custom laser cut and engrave on nearly all material. Great for one-of-a-kind gifts, home decor, business and specialty items, or personalized and logo designs created just for you or your company. Allow us to become your go-to gift and specialty project partner. Romika Designs can help make your ideas a reality. We're ready to help you design and create that special gift for any occasion or engrave your personal or business logo on just about any product. View our designs at romikadesigns.com or simply email us with your ideas. We specialize in custom design and we'd be honored to have the opportunity to discuss it with you. Call us at 817-400-4040, email info@romikadesigns.com, or visit us on the web at romikadesigns.com.
Flat Earth, the moon landing, JFK, 5G, Biden won the election. Hey lovelies, does anyone have any new conspiracy theories? Because all the ones I know have come true. Join me, Ria Bow, here on Sunday Long Live Radio, live every Sunday of the year, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard, 10 a.m. UK, and 9 p.m. New South Wales. I'll see you Sunday.
Talking about AI, there are pastors out there, I'm sure, who write their sermons with this. Absolutely has to be out there like that. But one of the things I thought was awesome, because I'm going to answer my own question. I did ask that rhetorically. I think the difference between somebody who paints a painting of someone in a pornographic or maybe a compromising situation, the difference between that and AI is that AI looks so real. Sometimes you cannot tell the difference, and if you do some frames on it or some filters on it, it's very possible, unless you look at the hands. Unless you look at the hands or something like that, it's very difficult. Like you just said there, Brian, with the contract that was written, it's very difficult to tell whether or not a human wrote that or a machine wrote that. Well, there is a combating technology that you can use, especially for online artists. And I think this is fantastic because the government didn't think about this. The Congress didn't come out and say, this is what we need. We're going to do this. We're going to fund this, etc. No, it did not do that at all. This was a new data that you can actually poison your art so that when AI screen scrapes your images, it jacks everything up. It's called Nightshade. It messes up the training data in ways that could cause serious damage to image generating AI models.
I think that's smart.
It's amazing. I thought
Yeah.
I was reading this week. Actually, an artist that I follow popped threw this out there, and I was like, "That is awesome!" Because this is generated by citizens. It's not made by the government. If you want to prevent, because what happens when you just like when you go out there and you type in an internet search, what that internet search does is it crawls through all the pages, all the blog posts, depending on how powerful it is, all comments, all audio, all video, etc., and it pulls back search results based on your query. When you do it with AI, AI does the same thing. It crawls through the internet. It scrapes information from Wikipedia, from blog posts, from websites, from historical sites, from all over the place, and then it just aggregates that into into sentences and paragraphs, etc. And when you do that with the art, it does the same thing. So it will pull from Picasso, or it will pull from Thomas Kincaid, or from Monet, and pull elements from that and put it together. It will pull from people who took pictures, or some people who did other AI stuff, and it will scrape that information and it will compile it into one picture. What this does, the Nightshade is a way to fight back against that, and and helps to train their models and with the creator's permission. So you poison your image. So you put these pixels or these things in your paintings or your pictures when you do them online. And when they get scraped, dogs become cats, or cars become cows, or a person becomes a whale. It just jacks everything up and makes it to where your art cannot be stolen by AI and created by another artist thief and thrown out there as their own work.
That's kind of
This
cool.
doesn't
Actually,
require legislation. This doesn't require Senator Hawley to go ballistic on the AI tech companies. All it required was somebody to go, hey, let's think about what we can do to jack up that AI system so it doesn't scrape my paintings. I thought that was awesome.
I do.
Well,
I like this.
I think it goes back to capitalism in general, Aaron, is because capitalists will find a way. If you are messing with my stuff, if you're messing with my creation, somebody somewhere who's very smart and is very protective of their intellectual property is going to find a way to protect it. We always have. We've always made as human beings. I dare say, even I think America's probably on the cutting edge of technology in general. But as human beings, we have always made the better mousetrap. We've always made the next best thing. And I think that's where we're running into, we don't need legislation. Like you said, we don't need legislation to figure this out. We just need somebody who's ticked off that so-and-so down the street's taking my stuff and do something about it.
Yep. I think this is citizens. These are citizens at their best, doing what they do best. They will find a way. I like your little Jeff Goldblum reference there. Technology will find a way. Capitalism will find a way. That was great there, man. That's like
I love it. I mean, when you think about it, that's exactly what it is that people are going to take care of themselves. People are going to do whatever they can. And I may not be able to do it myself. I really might not be. I might not have the technology to be able to fix it myself. I might not have the technology to be able to make things happen the way I want it to happen. What I can say is that somebody somewhere will. And, I've learned one thing in my life, and that is that I've never had an original idea that someone else somewhere hasn't been able to improve on, or add to. And if you don't give credit to the people that you're standing on the shoulders of, then you're like a Thomas Edison when it comes to people like Tesla.
Oh, bam! Gosh, didn't see that coming.
I'm so proud of that, and I'm the conspiracy theorist. I love that.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
What a great reference! You make me cry.
God,
That's
right.
I'm glad to help you out there.
Today. God.
I think there's something to be said there. I really do.
All right. Now, this, we've just a little bit left. You can always leave your sound off here by going to breaktradio.com, clicking on the mic in the bottom right-hand corner. We will gladly take your sound off, play it on the air so that you will know that we care about what you say, how much we love you, and how much we want the entire world to know what you think. And as we continue our fight for liberty, just remember that every great day begins with a great night's sleep, and every great night's sleep begins with a great pillow. That's why my family and I use MyPillow products. As you know, my friend Mike Lindell, we are close friends, had dinner last night, very good friends, not really. Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of their lives, and he didn't stop simply by creating the best pillow. He created the Giza Dream bed sheets as well. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial because I do the radio show. I have a busy schedule. We all have busy lives. We need to make sure that we're doing our best to get a great night's sleep. Mike found the world's best cotton called Giza. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. They come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. The first night you sleep on the Giza sheets, you will never want to sleep on anything else. The Giza Dream Sheets come in a variety of sizes and colors, and Mike's latest incredible deal is the sale of the year. For a limited time, you can get up to 88% off your product purchases and your Giza sheets if you go to mypillow.com and use the promo code Barker. That's mypillow.com, promo code BARKER. Now, it doesn't just stop with pillows. It doesn't just stop with sheets. There's bed toppers. There's down comforters. There's towels that actually work. Like I'm talking about when you get out of the shower, you're dripping wet and you dry yourself with a towel. It actually dries you like it's supposed to do. It's amazing. And the slippers. I wear the slippers and they are fantastic. Very comfortable. I've had those for several years and still going strong. So simply do this. Go to mypillow.com. Right in the middle of the screen, it's going to ask you to enter a promo code. Pop that in, Barker, Barker. There you're going to find not only these amazing products, but also other deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the MyPillow mattress topper, MyPillow towel sets, and if your puppy buddy loves to sleep on something comfortable, you can have an awesome MyPillow doggy bed. I've got one. It's huge and comfortable because we have an 88-pound golden retriever, and she's awesome. Call 800-892-6955. That's 800-892-6955. Give them the promo code Barker, or go to mypillow.com and use the promo code Barker. Folks, this helps not only Mike Lindell's fight for election integrity and helping to make sure people get a great night's sleep, but it helps us as well. Go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Barker. Your best night's sleep is just a few clicks away. Now we're going to get into some weird stuff here, Erica. We've got some a couple of things I got to get to. I'm going to play this video here real quick for you. This is a video of a security guard that has gone viral. Security guard is by himself, and he hears something, so he pulls out his camera and decides, I'm going to record what this is. Brace yourself, because this is pretty freaky here. Just a second. Okay. This isn't just the only thing though that I wanted to show you, Eric. I have you in mind for something else here.
So afraid.
There we go.
I'm afraid, y'all.
Yeah, this is in Spanish, but the part that is really freaky is not.
Buenas noches, la plaza ya se cerró. ¿Hay alguien aquí?
Is anyone here?
Buenas noches.
So this security guard heard something, and he's walking down through this school, and he's trying to find out. It's either a school or a storage facility, trying to find out where this sound comes from. He's there by himself, nobody down the halls or anything like that.
Sounded like he asked for nachos.
Sounds like Speedy Gonzalez.
Ya se cerró la plaza, joven.
He's about to turn into Speedy in just a moment.
He said
buenas noches.
Right?
Buenas noches.
Oh my gosh.
¿Dónde está? El burrito, avocado. Here we go.
Ándale. Epa.
He's looking down a dark hallway. You can hear him.
Buenas noches, ya se cerró.
He's like the holy nope. He's like, nope.
Oh my goodness. No, absolutely not. I would call 911.
Why are children's voices so freaking creepy?
Did you just hear that scream?
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Oh gosh.
Wow.
Kids' voices can be
is that
so
real?
Creepy.
So some people say it is, some people say it's fake, but I don't know. We just talked about AI, what could be generated here, but just imagine this. There are no kids around, and you hear that. I mean, it is freaking creepy. So now, because the part in you that says, oh my gosh, that sounds like a real child, I've got to find out where this child is. Otherwise, I'm going to be brought up on charges of manslaughter. I got to find out where this kid is to take care of this kid. There's nobody there. That's the creepy part about it. Like when I saw the headline, I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is probably it's going to sound like metal or tires squealing. There's going to be an explanation for this.
Echoes though.
I know. I mean, this wasn't just like this wasn't an explainable noise.
Terrifying.
Yes. I mean, I was like, oh man, I got to but here's where I was thinking about you, Erica, because, of course we got into a really good discussion. We got into a really good discussion about the aliens in Miami, the Nephilim in Miami. And somebody had made a comment, a friend of mine had made a comment on the post, on one of our posts about how these sightings were around the world and people are starting to see these large creatures around the world. And of course I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to find these things. So I did. And here's a video that shows evidently 10-foot tall creatures walking on top of a mountain. Check this out.
Você consegue captar as
Yeah,
vibrações. Vem
yeah.
até nós. Só não vem à noite.
Mano, pior que mexe esquisito demais.
I don't know what they're saying. Is it Spanish? Brazilian, yeah, Brazilian. Now, from their perspective, where they
Ó,
are,
ele tá no meio do morro. Olha,
How do you know how tall they
so
are?
from their perspective, where they are, you can see just how large the creatures are, and from where they are on the ground, and usually they do size comparisons. Like if you've ever watched Finding Bigfoot, they'll go stand, like they'll have a standard
Yeah.
a tall guy stand somewhere where that person or being was, and then they'll be like stretching their arms out. Was it this tall? Was it this tall? How tall was it? And this appears to be a 10-foot tall creature. This is down in Brazil, southeast Brazil, as other stands, another one stands closely behind it. They stand confidently on the top of a hill, which locals say is difficult to reach, with the shrubbery barely reaching their knees. The pair could be seen swinging their arms in an eerily human-like manner, but not enough to convince eyewitnesses they weren't watching aliens. They say it's too big to be a person, which is one of the translations of what somebody says in the video. And I'll play this again, muted, so everybody can kind of watch that while it's while I'm talking here. And it says here, someone says, for me, it's enough to see the speed with which this creature goes down the hill. Anyone who has done trails on hills like this knows you don't go down a hill like this in 1 to 2 minutes, one Instagram user wrote. So evidently, I mean, so that is, so I want to throw that out there to you, Erica. The Brazilian government is joining in on this as well. They didn't confirm whether or not these are giants. They're just simply looking into this. What dost thou thinkest about these videos the video that I just showed you here?
I mean, it's kind of like, why is it blurry? No one zooms in. You can't get a close up at
They
this
must be
point.
using an iPhone.
Right. I mean, I just feel like it's
Sorry.
fake.
That
It's
was
fake.
Well, okay. Well, I just thought it was interesting because we're still seeing these crop up around the world. We're
Trust me,
watching-
I'm not saying something weird isn't going on. I believe something weird is going on, but that is not going to help me think that that was it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right, folks. So that's it for the breakdown today. Thank you so much for staying with us during the program. Everybody over on OpsLens as well and on the Crusade channel. Stay tuned on the Crusade channel if you're listening over there. Richard Barrett is coming on next with the Barrett Brief on the weekends. You can listen to him and check him out. Also, we're going to do a few minutes of overtime. I don't know how much overtime we're going to be able to do, but we are going to do some overtime. What that means is that on Rumble, Facebook, and all of the Facebook channels except for OpsLens, we're going to go just a little bit over and talk about a couple more news stories that we didn't get a chance to discuss while we were on the show here. So if you want to join us there, go over to the breakdown on Rumble or on Facebook, or go to mine, Erica, or Brian's Facebook pages as well. Be sure to check out MyPillow. Use the promo code Barker. Go to BreakDRadio.com. Click on Breakdown Outfitters. Buy our stuff and make it your crap. And until next time, on behalf of everybody here at the Breakdown, make Christ supremely valuable. All right. I think we're out. I think that was okay. So just a couple house cleaning things, because I know y'all are asking about it. So I'm using a second computer today just for streaming and playing videos on the stream. I'm trying to use my other computer for show prep and clicking through stuff and chatting and all that. Trying to do that because I've been having some